Welcome back, once again adventurers, to Let's Play ChäoS Head. In the last episode, much to Takumi Nishijo's horror, turns out that the girl known as Rimi Sakihata, or the Demon Girl as Takumi had designated her, is no delusion. She is in fact very real. But things have once again taken a sudden twist for Takumi, as it turns out that not only is Rimi a classmate of his, but also a personal friend. A fact that, much to Takumi's surprise, is corroborated by none other than Daisuke Mikami himself, which definitely doesn't bode well for Takumi's current predicament. With that revelation in mind, Takumi doesn't know what's real and what isn't, at this very moment.
で、大臣はなんて?
I think you know exactly what Daichin would say. After sighing in what sounded like light disappointment as she put away her handkerchief, the demon girl asked me this with a triumphant expression. It was the attitude of someone who had known the answer from the start. I couldn't afford to answer her. What was she? An ordinary classmate of mine, or a monster? I couldn't tell. Maybe I was the one who had gone crazy. If you took the chat with Shogun into consideration, it was hard to discard the possibility that someone other than myself was controlling me. Or only my memories of this demon girl. Of the girl called Rimi Sakihata, by some accident, had been knocked clean out of me. Maybe Takumi's delusions have definitely spiraled too far out of control. Whatever the case, I didn't understand myself. Was it memory loss? Somnambulism? Something else? Or all this together?
大丈夫?
I think Takumi is about as far from okay as he can possibly be.
体、辛いならソファーで横になる?
And yet, Rimi seems genuinely concerned for Takumi's well-being. The demon girl spoke to me kindly. Be careful of kind words. Anyone who acts nice to a creepy otaku like me must have an ulterior motive. I shook my head to show my refusal, and raised my face with all my strength. Sweat got in my eyes, making my vision blur. The demon girl's face was closer than I'd expected. What color did she hold in those eyes of hers?
なんで?
なになに?
ここにいる。
なんでって、タクに会いに来たんだよ。
I think the question here, Rimi, is why did you come to see Takumi? Why did you show up now? Of all days.
もしかして勝手に部屋に入ったこと怒ってる? でもそれはタクがちっとも返事してくれないから悪いんだよ。
I think that's the least of our concerns.
結構長い時間ノックしてたんだから。
Yeah, that is pretty much kind of on us, unfortunately. I thrust the borrowed cell phone back at her. As I watched the demon girl timidly take it back, I asked her again.
なんで?
今度は何?
ここにいる。
Was there reason for coming to visit me? If If she'd come to kill me, she would have acted on her intentions long ago. Yeah, why wasn't she doing anything?
ああ、ここに来た理由？ね。
The demon girl reached in her bag and pulled out a one-sheet printout.
進路希望のプリント持ってきてあげたの。
Future aspirations? That sounds ominous. Without quite meaning to, I accepted it from her. Certainly it had future aspirations questionnaire written on it, with blank fields for up to 3 entries. Are we going to have to fill out another questionnaire again? Because the previous one handed to us back at the hospital was definitely bizarre, to say the least. Was that really it? Only that? Only this small bit of paper?
帰ってよ。
But of course, Takumi really is in dire straits. I don't want to get involved. I mustn't get involved with greedy girls. This was a trap. Don't listen. This wasn't reality. Fortunately it is. This is no delusion, Takumi Nishijo. Rimi Sakihata is very much real. But of course Takumi believes otherwise. It was a game, on top of that full of bugs. Because there were too many contradictions, it didn't hold together as a story. That pretty much describes the entire New Gen situation in a nutshell.
僕に関わらないでよ。
If you don't mean to kill me, then please let me be. I belong to myself. Some me that wasn't me might have been pals with Rimi Sakihata, but that had no connection with my current self. Holding my head, I closed my heart. I started to tremble, dreaming that a girl named Rimi Sakihata had never been there in the first place. After some time, I heard the sound of the door opening, telling my ears that the demon girl had left. And Takumi is alone to ponder his thoughts. Only the pale light of the PC monitor floated faintly in the middle of the pitch-black room. It reflected a screensaver of Sarah, a character from Blood Tune the Animation. In this container house, which a girl named or called Rimi Sakihata had visited half a day earlier, there could now be found solely the form of its owner, Takumi Nishijo. The time was already nearing 5 in the morning. It was Takumi's daily habit to play online games until dawn, then sleep like a log on his sofa. Now too, Takumi was lying on the sofa in an uncomfortable-looking position. He didn't use his bed to sleep in. Though he possessed the proper bed, the reason he didn't sleep there was because it had been monopolized by the manga volumes, CDs, and so forth that he had piled atop it. In the period when he avoided cleaning because it would be too much of a bother, his bed had gradually transformed to a type of shelving. Henceforth, he began using the 2-seat sofa as a sleeping space. A painful-sounding moan spilled from Takumi's mouth. Perhaps he was having a nightmare. His entire body was sweating, and his closed eyelids trembled. His expression twisted agonizingly, as he tossed and turned over and over, he came close to falling off the sofa. Suddenly, lying on his back, Takumi opened his eyes abnormally wide. His eyes were thoroughly bloodshot, and furthermore, his eyeballs themselves were twitching. Without a single blink, he lumbered to his feet, and drifted, swaying over to his PC. Refraining from sitting down, he moved the mouse while standing. The screensaver disappeared and his desktop filled the monitor. Illuminated by the monitor's pallid light, Takumi's expression was horribly empty. His body wavered from side to side. Drool hung down from his half-open mouth. His figure was that of a prototypical sleepwalker. As though delirious, Takumi started up his net browser and opened the main page of that channel. The movements of his body were lackluster days ago, but he showed no sign of no hesitation in selecting threads related to Nugent on the breaking news board. In total, they numbered approximately 60, and Takumi opened them one by one in order from the top down. And while gazing at the monitor, he began touch typing. He repeated this in each of the 60 existing threads. The letters he typed were few, but all of them formed the same sentence. Of course. So it seems that Yua's suspicions were not entirely inaccurate after all. The next day I headed to the hospital first thing in the morning. I hadn't been able to confirm it last time I came here, but today I would definitely get them to tell me I was normal. I think your hopes are about to be dashed on that front there, Takumi. Dr. Takashina would remember me. I'd revealed that I was Nishijo, your patient up until 4 years ago, and I get to hear all kinds of things from him. I wasn't the crazy one. The demon girl and Mizumi-kun were. The doctor would surely tell me so. This hospital opened at 8 in the morning, somewhat earlier than regular hospitals, which is why I come exactly in time for opening hours. But, oh dear. The sofas in the lobby were already filled with seated old people. Never mind then. False alarm. Why? Oh, okay, not quite so much false alarm for Takumi. Even though the hospital had barely opened for the day, why were there so many people here? It's unfair to get a head start. Come on time like you're supposed to. Outwardly insulting them, I had no option left but to wait. Well, that's about all we can do at this moment. And we're going to be waiting not quite so long. After an hour of waiting, I found myself regretting that I didn't make an appointment. Probably should have done that beforehand. But immediately afterward, they called my name, and I was relieved at the fact that I hadn't been forced to wait as long as last week. 3 hours is a long time. Either way, the one waiting for me in the examining room they brought me to wasn't Dr. Takashima, but instead an unfamiliar white-haired old man. That's unfortunate.
高階先生は
Upon my growing perplexed, the nurse standing in attendance behind him, what was her name again? Hazuki-san, answered with an apologetic expression. So she's still here.
高階先生はもういません。
Wait a minute. What exactly do you mean by not here anymore?
もういないというか、過労がたたって先週末に倒れてしまわれてね。今週はそれでずっと休みだよ。
Well, that's certainly incredible timing. And by that I mean bad luck timing. What a nightmare. My one and only ally. Wait, had Dr. Takashima really collapsed from fatigue?
陰謀だ。悪魔女の陰謀だ。
Babbling about the demon girl Rimi is in the hospital is probably not going to get us anywhere, Takumi.
西条さん
She definitely put poison in his food or sent him a threatening letter or done something else to drive him into a psychological corner. She was trying to isolate me, make me helpless. I had no intention of letting anyone besides Dr. Takashima examine me. So instead of undergoing a checkup, I left the hospital as though I were fleeing it, which is probably exactly what you're doing right now. Running away from the hospital. But then again, it's entirely possible that he is on a break, and that he is also, it could very well be possible that he could even transfer. But in any event, we're back on the roof of the Kurenai building, staring at the doors of the shipping container.
くそ。
Looks like our window of opportunity has gone out the window there, Takumi. Missed our chance to talk with him the first time, and now it looks like we're paying the price. Leaning against the fence surrounding the roof, I stared vaguely up at the sky. The skies of Shibuya were drab, and it would be hard to call them clear. Yeah, there are fairly sort of rough-looking skies.
病院にはもう行かない方がいい。
Maybe that's for the best, although, again, given what just happened the previous evening, although, of course, Takumi isn't aware of that, nor would he be. The demon girl's dragnet was tightening. Maybe I'd nowhere left to run. Maybe even the detectives I met yesterday had in truth been fakes. The demon girl's cronies, and they've been testing me. And I would beg to differ on that one. Because the timing had been way too good. Come on, the demon girl had pushed her way into my room right after I'd met with the detectives. She was a demon after all. She wasn't human. It'd hardly take any effort for her to manipulate human hearts. I'd no evidence to back that up, but conversely, there was no evidence that she wasn't a demon. The good old-fashioned no evidence argument. It's a classic. In that case, the only way to survive was by presupposing the worst. Is there really no one who would be my ally? All of them seemed like my enemies. Every one of them looked like the demon girl's underlings.
助けて。誰か助けてよ。
Why don't I have even a single ally? Why wouldn't anyone come save me? Why did I have to end up like this? If we could answer those questions, Takumi Nishijo, we would actually be one step closer to figuring out this entire mess. But that is going to be it for this episode of Let's Play ChäoS Head. And when we return, adventurers, we're just going to have to keep taking another step at a time in figuring out just where exactly things go to from here. As always, dear adventurers, until next we meet.